Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Atlantis 1/535th scale USS Iowa build. And the last time we worked on this, I believe we were filling in the sink marks here on the turret pieces and the tower structures. And I went ahead off camera and I sanded those. Looks like a big old ring around that one, but that was a pretty bad sink mark. But I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. It feels good. Moving your finger over it, it feels smooth, but we won't know for sure until we get some primer on it to see if it's still low in some spots. And also, I'll turn the ship upside down. I did the sides in the video, filled in them sink marks, but I forgot to do the bottom. So I went ahead and did that as well. But in this video, forgot these little guns here. I did fill in the little dimples that were on the tops of these guns, and I sanded those as well. Just took a toothpick with a little bit of that Tamiya putty and kind of dolloped it into the holes there, and then once it dried, I put some water on them, let it soften up a little bit to help sand a little easier, and then I just sanded it with the wet dry sandpaper. So got those done, but I decided I wanted to finish these structures up before I get it in the paint booth. That way after it's painted, I don't get a bunch of glue, because which piece here? Make sure I'm looking at it right. Got the instructions out. Yep. A couple radar pieces go on here. I'm going to keep them on the sprue while I prime them. But this needs to go on. It slides on like this. And I noticed the walkway, I had to be careful because I test fit it and it was like this, up like that. And then my walkway wasn't even, so I wanted to make sure that I got that right. Then I'll put the radar. It shows it's got a couple, I believe this is radar on those two, but I'm going to go ahead and prime and paint everything on the sprue, and then I'll just take some CA glue and then drop them into place once we're to that step before we put the tower onto the actual model. And it's got a couple roundabouts there with the anti-aircraft guns, I think those are. I don't know. Anyway, some type of gun. I'm going to paint all of them on the sprue as well, and then do the same thing, because I think it'd be easier to paint that part of the deck with all those pieces off there. But I will go ahead and put the antenna on here, and then we'll get this part assembled onto that part, and so on and so forth. I have been searching the internet. I was hoping to get a wood deck for this ship, but I have not seen any wood decks for the 1/535th scale. I've seen them in the 200 scale, or 1/200th, the 1/350th scale, and I've seen them in the 1/700 scale. Them are the most common that I've seen, but I haven't seen any for this ship. So I'm gonna have to paint the deck on this one, and probably when I do my wash, I'll kind of avoid the sink marks here, because they're just gonna be in it. I don't know. It's a raised wood grain, so I think I'd do more damage. That, and I'm not gonna be able to fill in those sink marks there that have detail over them. So it's one of them deals, just gonna have to live with it, I think. Which I think it'll be fine. So, without any further ado, that was about 5 minutes of talking. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna put that off to the side. Put that above there, and then we'll get the instructions over here so you can kind of follow along if you would like. And it looks like we're not going to do anything with this piece here. This is going to be all painted and everything before we attach any of the guns and the radar pieces or whatever that is. You can tell I'm not familiar with ships at all. This is actually my first ever model ship. But I'm very happy with the way it's going so far. It's got a lot of cleanup and filling, but that's part of modeling. We're going to be getting to the fun stuff here in a bit. Painting. After these are assembled, it's going in the booth for some primer. But this is how the turrets turned out, which I think they turned out pretty good. So let's go ahead and grab this piece here, and we need to glue that slidey piece on, whatever I did with. Oh, it's still on it. Too busy yapping, I'm not paying attention to what. I got a little cleanup there to do. I missed a little bit of flash there. I want to get that off definitely before we get it on. The structure. A little bit of dusties on there. And the entire ship is going to get cleaned with, I like to wipe everything down with isopropyl before I primer paint anything. So that's into place there. I'm going to go ahead and get my glue. And is my decking straight? That looks pretty good. Raised up just a tad, it looks like. Like so. And let's go ahead and hit it right there first. Weld that into place. And the parts fit pretty, I mean, you can see a little bit of gap there, but for what, this is a pretty simple model ship build. This is why I decided to go with this one first. I do have the USS Arizona and the Missouri. But I have the Missouri is, let me check out the scale on that for you. The Missouri is 1/535 scale as well, just like the Iowa here. But the Arizona, I didn't realize it when I got it. It's 1 4/26 scale. So I think, I also have the Titanic. What's the Titanic? The Titanic is 1/570th scale. But I think after these ships, these bigger ships are done, I'm gonna probably go with the 1/700 scale, because you can get like the photo etch and the wood decks pretty easily with those. I would like to build like the 1/200s are out of my price range. Them ships are spendy. But the 1/350th, I'd like to get the Prinz Eugen and do that one in that scale. Then of course you got your aircraft carriers in the 1/700 scale as well. I think it'd be fun to do one of those. But then, oh, we have a little piece. Let's go with this one here next. This goes on like this. I'll have to put some glue on because, oh, it's got a pretty good fit. Pretty decent fit there. Might get a little bit of glue on there first though. Let's go ahead. I put the lid on like I was finished. A little glue right there. We'll just put this into place. Like so. Get it down on where it needs to go. I'll probably have to bend it up or down and get it again, but we need to get it in the approximate position first. Looks pretty good. Actually, looks halfway straight too. Look at it from this area. Go a little bit to the right. Looks pretty straight. Bend it up a little bit. So. And I think that is it. Awesome. So let's give it a little more glue. If you hear that squeaking in the back and that whining, that's my 3D printer going. And I will be posting another video because I printed one of my paint holder trays, which I'm happy with the results of that as well. Oh, we got one more piece to go on here. That I would like to put on right now, I should say. And we don't have the hole. The hole got filled with plastic. And I'm printing the second tray. I'm gonna need 5 of them for the testers and the Vallejo paints. And I still am working on the design for, there we go. Still working on the design for the Tamiya and craft paints. A little bit wider. Okay, let's get some glue on there. Sure, my little, must be rocket launchers maybe or something. I don't know. Look at it in all directions, make sure it's gonna sit right. That looks pretty good. Maybe go back to the left, just a tad. There we go. And there's that one. Get that off there, and then the last thing we need to do is put this little antenna looking thing up. This one looked fun. trying to put it on backwards. It goes on like that. It's standing pretty straight. Let's go ahead and get some glue on there. We'll do that middle leg first. Is that right? Yep. And we'll get one on each of these legs here. Make sure it's attached to the point first and foremost. Like that. And I'm going to go ahead and get the insides of the legs here and here. Move that in just a bit. Got out of position. Looks good. There should still be plenty of glue. I had to push it back in. The front leg kind of popped out the front. But that's as far as we'll do for there. And like I said, the next time you see this, it's going to be in the paint booth for some primer. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching. And we'll see you guys next time.